Alright, so how's everyone doing? I am Rich Celenza. Thanks for checking out my channel. This may get a little bumpy, the video, but I could care less. Anyways, I'm leaving my gym, and a lot of times when I leave the gym, I like to do videos on things I think about, or sometimes even when I'm going in the gym. In this case, what I want to call this video is, don't be afraid to ask somebody for a spot, especially if you are going heavy while benching or squatting. So let me get into that real quick. So when I was younger, for instance, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, even 2000s, most of the time when we worked out in groups, or we all met in gyms. But for the most part, we did not have headphones, a lot of us, unless you had like a Walkman or some shit like that. But nowadays, more than ever, we're all wearing headphones like I'm wearing right now. So we all kind of ignore each other to one extent or another, unless you come in with a workout partner. And I just saw this today, and that's what made me think about it. Somebody was going very heavy on legs, some younger guy. He was at about 375, and it was a little shaky. And I even offered my help, like gave him a, do you need help? He said no. But I could tell there was some sticky points there where it could have went bad very quickly. And I just want you to know, one thing is, I don't think the younger generation or new people understand what it is to ask somebody for a spot, literally. If you are lifting some weight that you may need some help down the line, not necessarily on your first or second, but it could be your seventh or eighth, or whatever the case may be, make sure you have a spotter. It's well worth it. The last thing you want to do, and I talk about this all the time, is get injured. Working out is all about staying injury-free for as long as you can. And having a spotter sometimes can save your life, and I'm not exaggerating. Even when I was younger, I once tried bench pressing a substantial amount of weight when I was younger, and like an asshole, I was by myself in my house. At least it was a lot of weight for me. I got fatigued, fell on my chest, I rolled it on my neck. I ended up swaying it back and forth. Then I rolled it down my stomach, but I tell you the truth, I knocked the wind out of my throat. I couldn't breathe. And you hear sometimes these stories of people that literally get killed weightlifting. I know you may not even believe this, but they don't have a spotter and they hurt themselves, or it slips, falls on their throat, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to get into that. But really, also, if you come with a workout partner and you're lifting some heavy weights, make sure they know how to spot you correctly, or they're strong enough to spot you, especially while squatting. A lot of guys, I realize, they just don't know how to spot people correctly anymore because they don't do it enough, or they're not strong enough. So make sure, even if you're with a workout partner or partners, that if you're going to do a certain amount of weight, they know how to do it correctly and they have the strength to help you. Because if they don't have either one of those, there's no sense to having them, all right? So you got to think about that as well. And also offer your help at the gym. I know, again, like I said, we're all kind of in our own world with our headphones. Take a look around. If you see somebody lifting a substantial amount of weight, or they look a little shaky, then offer your help. Say, hey, do you need a spot? A lot of times they will say yes. They're just afraid to say they need a spot, or they may be embarrassed, or they may not even know that people offer these type of things, which is spotting one another, all right? And here's the other thing too, not to get long-winded on this shit. If you plan on squatting people when you're squatting, and I've seen this many times, I used to go very heavy with squatting, up to 500-600 pounds for, maybe sometimes you may need more than one guy to spot you in the gym. You may need guys on either side, because sometimes somebody there just may not be strong enough if you're going very heavy to help you lift that, especially if it starts to come down hard, or he slips, or the weight slips off his back. I've had that happen to me. He starts to go forward. You want to make sure no one gets injured in the gym, and no one realizes when something goes down like that, it goes bad. Also, a lot of times people just get injured in the gym going too heavy, so you could tear a pec. You could pull your back out. There's many different things, so you want to make sure no one gets hurt, including yourself. So make sure you protect yourself, because if you don't, no one else is. If you need a spot, let the ego down and say, hey, can you spot me? And also, when you're spotting, communicate with somebody. So a lot of times I think with our headphones on, we're like, yeah, can you spot me? You don't know if the guy's going to do 5, 6, 7, 8, or if he's even going to do a max 1, hypothetically. Communicate and say, hey, dude, all right, you need a spot. What are you looking for? And he'll say, hey, I'm going to try to do 6. So at 4, if he gets sticky, you can help him do 6. Some guys don't want any help at all. They'll be like, no, just let me force my way through it. If you need, just rack it for me. Whatever the case may be, make sure you communicate while spotting as well. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there. If you get a chance, subscribe. I'm also also, if you want, you can check out my podcast, The Rich Celenza Show. WTF are you talking about? I'm also on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Yeah, and learn to have fun in the gym, all right? That's my new thing. And please protect one another and pay attention to. A lot of times, scan the gym. A lot of times you'd be shocked. You may be in positions, and I've done this numerous times, where people get stuck. I've had them get stuck doing chest. I've seen them pull things where I had to remove stuff off their, or they pulled their shoulders doing shoulder presses, and I had to grab weights. All these different types of things. Just please make sure, you know, you look out for one another. All right, take care, and if you're traveling, safe travels.